Learned men and women, those who refer themselves as their learned friends, the men of the judiciary, you you often hear them say, my learned friend is saying this, my learned friend is saying that, as if they are the only person who have learned in this world, as if the engineers did not learn anything, as if doctors did not learn anything, as if drivers did not learn anything, as if farmers did not learn anything. They refer themselves as their learned friends. You often hear them saying, my learned friend is trying to convince us of this, my learned friend is trying to convince us of that, as if they already have not learned anything. Those who have learned, the men and women of the judiciary, they teach us that a child cannot be held accountable for any agreement that he makes. An underage child is not is legally bound by any agreement that he or she makes. That is what they teach us. That is what they tell us. That is what they enforce on us. That we cannot hold a child who is underage liable for any agreement that he makes or she makes. Yet, I wonder, how can or why should a man be held accountable, be bound by an agreement he did not make? Why should a man be bound by agreement he was not party to? Why should a man be bound by agreement that he did not sign? And of course, I know they will say it's impossible. No one has ever been bound by the agreement he did not sign. Yet, as Africans, yet as Australians, yet as Americans, yes, as New Zealanders, all people who were colonized by the Europeans. The Europeans colonized us as Africans, and those who colonized us, they sign agreement with the colonial power on our behalf. We were not party to those agreements, yet we are bound by those agreements. What is the difference between a child who is held accountable to the agreement he or she makes? What is the difference between a man who is held accountable for an agreement he did not sign and Africans who are now bound by agreements that was made by colonial masters with the colonial power? Because they came to our land and they signed our mineral rights away. They came to our land and they signed our oil rights, our wealth away, natural wealth away. All the natural resources were signed away by our colonial masters to the colonial power. It was what people who made deal with Britain that made Anglo-American be the sole owner of the South African minerals. It was what people who signed agreement with Britain that makes the BS sole owner of South African minerals in exclusion of black people. So how is that different from a man? How are we as black people different from a man who is held accountable or liable for the agreement he did not sign? Because black people did not sign those agreements, they were signed by white people on our behalf. Why should a man be held accountable for the agreement he did not sign? Why are we bound by agreement that we were not party to? This is because white people treat black people as animals. White people view black people as people who are still on the stage of evolution, which is under that of white people. They see us as nothing more than chimpanzees, for whom decisions must be made on where they must stay, how they must live, what they must eat, what they must wear, and what they must do at what time. They don't respect our right to decide for ourselves. It is like a man who invade your home and kill any member of your family who resists. Then, when he finally subdue you, and when he takes over, he becomes the owner of your home. He signs agreement with his family that everything that's produced in your home it belongs to his family, where he is originally from. Why should we be bound by this agreement which we were not party to? This is exactly what was done to Africa by white people. They come to our land and occupy it violently. Then they sign agreements on our behalf, which is to our disadvantage, because they treat us like animals. The way that white people treat black people, it is not different from a man who sees a cow and subjugate it and break its legs and break its horns so that it must not fight him. Then he decides that he's going to be the sole drinker of his milk. And then he signed an agreement with his friends. He signed an agreement with his father that his father is the sole owner of the cow's milk, and his father is the sole owner of all the offspring of the calves the cow will produce. That is exactly the way Africans, Asians, Europeans, Australians, Americans were treated by the Europeans. They invaded our land and killed our people and subjugate us and make us their slaves. Then they sign agreements on our behalf that are against us, that are to our disadvantage, because they treat us like cattle that they have no say. They treat us like animals that have no decision to make. Therefore, those learned friends of ours, the question is still is, if a child cannot be held accountable for agreements, and another child cannot be held accountable for the agreement he or she makes, why should a man be held accountable for agreement he was not even part of making? Because no black men have signed the mineral rights away. No black men have signed any rights away. They were stolen. Where is the restitution? Where is the redress of wrongs? No Indian have signed away the rights of India, the mineral rights of India away to Britain. No Native American have signed the land rights away to Britain. No Arab have signed away the oil rights away. Those rights were sent away by white people to other white people on behalf of the Arab people. Then what is the difference between a man who captures a cow and breaks his legs and his horns, then he signs away his milk to his father, he signs away his offspring to his father, when the cow is not even part of that? They treat us like cows because they believe that all people who are not white are not human enough. They are still less than human. We are subhuman. We are no more than animals that must be descended for. Let there be justice in the world for peace to be there. All the rights that were signed away on our behalf must be declared null and void, and all the rights and boundaries must be renegotiated, and the boundaries must be decided by us, because we are human beings like Europeans who must decide on our behalf. We are not animals that must be decided upon or on their behalf by others.